Hey everyone, Ernie Svensson here, and today we're going to talk about the reasons that prospective clients don't trust you. These are pervasive, deep-seated concerns that all humans have about entering into business relationships with people that they don't know. And there are 9 reasons that we're going to talk about. Very few lawyers are aware of these reasons, even though they make perfect sense when you stop and focus on them for a few minutes. But first, let's talk about what do you think is going on when you market your practice to the general public? And what do most lawyers think? And I think most lawyers get their idea of what good marketing is from what I call the copycat playbook. They look around, see what other lawyers are doing, and then without giving it much thought, they do the exact same thing. Now, obviously, copying other people gives us confidence, so maybe that's why we do it. But in the case of copying other lawyers' marketing, it's not a good confidence because it prevents us from being open to learning how good marketing actually works. Now, this tendency to get confidence from copying others, let's take a second to understand why this happens. It starts at a really early age because when we're young, it makes sense to mindlessly copy other people around us because that's how we learn. But that's not true necessarily when we get older, and especially not when we're trying to do something really important, like figure out how to market our practice. So think about why this is a problem of copying other lawyers' marketing. First, we're limited by what we see. So you can see most of what other lawyers' marketing activities are, or at least some of it, but what you can't see are the results that they're having, right? You'd have to have data that would show the return on investment of the marketing dollars they're spending versus the results they're obtained. And, you're never going to get that. But guess what? Most of those lawyers don't really have that going on themselves. They're not really measuring their marketing. They're doing the wrong kind of marketing that can't be measured. They need to be doing direct response marketing, which can be measured. But bottom line, most lawyers are not doing the right things to market their practice properly. But they're confident because they're copying everybody else. So let's talk about the key ingredient in effective marketing for lawyers. Building trust. That's the key component. So when you market your practice in a way that builds trust steadily and consistently, then you'll get amazing results. And those amazing results will give you confidence that your marketing is working well. Now, it'll take time. You have to do the marketing the right way. Then the amazing results start to happen. And at that point, you go, oh, this is amazing. This is great. Now your confidence comes from the good results. But if you don't have the good results and you just copy other people, you're shooting in the dark. And so you shouldn't do that. Bottom line is you can't be haphazard about your marketing, right? If you want better results from your marketing, you have to be strategic. And the number one strategy thing you need to focus on is trust and how to build trust steadily and consistently. So is it easy to build trust with people you don't know? Well, no, of course not, right? Building trust takes time and it takes thoughtfulness. If you want easy, go with the herd and sign up for one of those off-the-shelf lead generation programs that a lot of lawyers fall for. But stop and think about it. When did something off the shelf help establish trust? Think about how hard it is to build trust before you outsource your marketing to some service that can't be bothered to take the time to get to know you or your practice. I'm looking at you, Fine Law. Look, the thing about building trust is you have to understand the emotional reasons that people trust or don't trust. If there's logic in how people make trust decisions, it's more of a gut level logic than the logic of lofty academics. So let's move away from the theoretical and down to the practical level and consider the 9 questions that most clients will unconsciously ask themselves before they commit to hiring a lawyer. Number 1, do you know your stuff? Like, how long have you practiced this kind of law? Are you a specialist, or is this just one of several different kinds of law that you do? Have you written books? Have you written articles? Are you known in the community as the guy or the gal who handles that kind of legal problem that I have? If so, I'm going to see you as an authority. Number 2, do you really care about your clients as people? And if so, how much? You need to explain why you do your lawyer thing for reasons other than for money. I mean, we all understand that lawyers have to do things for money. That's how you make money. It's your business. People have no problem with that. But as between a lawyer who they can only see does it possibly for only money, or a lawyer they can see is passionate about this problem, then they're going to pick the person who's passionate. So if you are passionate and you have empathy towards your clients, you need to convey that. Clients are wondering, can you explain things to me in a way that I can easily understand? Or will I feel like you have a plan that I understand? Or am I going to always feel confused and overwhelmed that you're giving me too much information? If so, I'm not as inclined to hire you. Are you someone I'll feel comfortable working with? Or will I feel intimidated, awkward, or uneasy for any reason? And this kind of goes with, are you approachable and down to earth? Or do you have a social mask that you never take off? Because if that's the case, we are going to have trouble feeling like, we're a good fit. And I'm not going to like you as much as I like some other lawyer. And then another one is, are you the best choice for me? Or is there some other lawyer out there that I'd be happier with? Like, do I need a big firm lawyer with huge resources? Or are you going to be able to handle my case even though you're a solo or small firm lawyer? Number 7 is, do I feel like you'll level with me, or are you just going to tell me things you want me to believe? And lawyers don't have the greatest reputation for being believable all the time, so you have to work a little harder here with a lot of clients, especially the ones that don't know you at all. Can I afford your services? And how will you let me know that I'm getting value for your services? Are you going to explain that to me before I hire you, or am I just supposed to assume that you're worth whatever I have to pay you? And if you take the time to explain how the value gets created, that's something most lawyers don't do. And if you do that, you'll stand out and you'll be more trustworthy. And finally, will you handle my case properly, or are you likely to screw it up? Now, you'd think this be number 1, but that's based on logic. Most people are not going to go at this from logic. These are kind of emotional questions. And if you're an authority and if they feel like you care about them, they're going to kind of assume that you're probably not going to screw up their case. So all these things kind of blend together. But the first 3 are the most important: authority, empathy, and clarity. The rest of them are also important, but they kind of blend together. So if you want more good clients, you need to address all of those questions, and you should figure out how to address each question separately and write it out and come up with your answer, why people should trust you. And then you should weave those answers into your marketing materials, like your brochures, your web pages, everywhere that you're communicating with prospective clients. Most lawyers, they're comfortable copying other people. That's how they get their confidence, but that's the easy path, right? Now, it's better to build trust and to do the hard work of building it in a way that leads to you getting more high quality clients. If you want to learn more about trust-based marketing, I recommend that you read Dan Kennedy's book, The No BS Guide to Trust-Based Marketing. I've distilled the part that I think is the most important part for understanding this kind of marketing at a foundational level. If you've read other Dan Kennedy books that I recommend, you probably don't need to read this one. But if you haven't read any of his books, then this is a good one to start with. All right, that's it. I think you understand now how to build trust with your clients. So go out and figure out what you need to tell them so that they understand that you are a trustworthy lawyer. Thank you very much for attending the presentation. If you'd like more information, visit my ErnieTheAttorney.net website and get my free Ultimate Lawyers Technology Toolkit, or check out my podcast available on iTunes, Spotify, and also on my Ernie the Attorney website.